Maybe you just went through a breakup, or maybe you're finally feeling like you're ready to have a romantic connection in your life, or maybe you're coming back to dating after a long break. Whatever it is, this episode is for you. This episode is basically me as your dating bestie and coach giving you the most essential advice and tips for getting back into the dating scene. Welcome back to Dating Intentionally. I'm Talia. I'm sharing no-nonsense advice for navigating dating and relationships with confidence and ease, whether you've been dating for a while or you're just starting out. I believe dating can be fun, and I'm here to help you enjoy the process. And hear me out. It can even be fun if you're brand new to dating or coming back to it after a long time out of it. So this episode, by the way, originally aired in 2024. This is a throwback. I'm taking just one little week of a breather. And this episode is the one that I share so often that I knew I wanted to put it back at the top of my feed because I'm just constantly sharing it in DM. So this episode is your guide to the first time or getting back into dating after a long break. Maybe you've decided to focus on yourself. Maybe you're coming out of a long relationship. Maybe you've never been on a date in your life. No judgment here. Whatever it is, this episode is going to help you. And even if you've been actively dating and you haven't been taking a break, I think this will be a great refresher for you because this episode is packed with mindset stuff. And before we get into it, I just want to remind everyone out there dating that if you want a free handy guide to get you through common dating scenarios like how to handle being breadcrumbed or what to do if you like them, but you're not sure if they like you, if you want to define the relationship, you can download my free dating FAQ guide. Just head over to datingintentionallypod.com/gift or head to the description for the link. There are dozens of scenarios in there. So if you want easy and quick access to my advice for all these different common dating scenarios, get the guide. That's at datingintentionallypod.com/gift. All right, let's get into the episode. So let's just start off by acknowledging how scary dating can be when you've had a long break or you're returning to it after a long relationship. The dating pool is different. You're dating at a different age. You've learned more. Maybe you've been hurt. The culture is different today than it was 5, 10, 15 years ago. And of course, the technology is different. Dating apps are only about 10 years old at this point. I get that it's overwhelming, and I want to reassure you that 1, you're smart and you can figure out dating apps. And 2, even though the technology and dating pool have changed, people are still people. Some of the rules that existed when you were dating still apply today, like prioritizing your comfort, saying no to things that make you uncomfortable, and not chasing someone who doesn't like you back. If their behavior is confusing, they're probably not a good match. These are all relevant no matter how you're meeting people or what age you are. This is one of the surprising things I've learned as a dating coach and talking to hundreds of people about their dating experiences. The core principles and much of what I talk about on this podcast apply to dating at any age, no matter how you meet people. And yeah, if you're coming out of a long relationship or marriage and you expect the people you're dating to be more mature because you're older and you're dating people closer to your age, I need you to get rid of that expectation because age doesn't have much to do with emotional maturity and communication ability, unfortunately. I used to hear from folks in my DMs and they would be describing a situation. And I used to do this. I don't anymore. I used to ask, how old are you, by the way? And I would be shocked to hear that some of the behavior I expected from a high schooler or like someone in their early 20s would be coming from like people in their 50s. I really wish the reality was different, but no matter your age and level of dating experience, you still need to watch out for people who don't know what they want, lie about what they want, ghost you, and all that stuff that makes dating less fun. I'll say it as often as I need to. You can't control the dating pool. You can only control who you give your time and energy to. Let's talk about the number one question that comes up when we're talking about getting back into dating, and that is, how do you know when you're ready? So first, I want to talk about what it even means to be quote unquote ready to date. It can mean 3 different things if you ask me. 1, are you ready to go on a single date? 2, are you ready to date and explore potential relationships? Or 3, are you ready to be in a relationship? If you're new to dating or coming back to it after a long break, I recommend just focusing on the first one. Go on a date. And if you are dating, like you're going on dates, but you're still feeling really overwhelmed, scared, and triggered, then maybe you're not ready for a relationship, and that's okay. And you need more repetition or you need to continue working on your healing. Like you could be less than 24 hours out of a breakup from a 20-year relationship and go on a date. You could show up at a bar or a coffee shop and have a conversation. Yeah, you might have some strong emotions. You will probably be distracted and it wouldn't be the best date, but you could still do it. There's a difference between being ready to show up on a date, actively dating, and being in a relationship. And anyone listening right now, if you're single, no matter what season of life you're in, I can guarantee that you can show up on a date. One single date that doesn't go anywhere won't impact your life very much. Actively dating is a little different, right? Like you're dating many people with the intention of finding a partner, and dating and being in a relationship is different. And here's the thing, you don't need to be fully healed to date. Like it's not like you get to a point in your healing where like all of a sudden everything clicks into place and you're ready to go date. You can work on your healing while you date. And that's one of the biggest misconceptions I think about dating, is that you need to work on yourself a lot before you get into the dating pool. But I think that it's actually works best when you are healing while dating, because every new date will bring you new information and you will have more opportunities to work on your healing. Look, I did a lot of work, like healing work, before I started dating. And then I got into a relationship and I get triggered regularly in my relationship, probably way more than I did when I was single. So you could do all the healing work in the world, and once you get into a relationship, it's going to be a different situation. What you want to aim for is being healed enough so that dating doesn't send you into a spiral of self-doubt and self-sabotage, right? You might experience a mild discomfort when dating and then you can keep living your life. But if it's really throwing you for a loop, then you might need to take more of a break. You know you're ready for a relationship when you have the mental, emotional capacity to compromise, work on things, be okay with things being messy, and to make space for someone else's priorities and flaws. But you don't need to have that just to date, because dating, you don't have to go so deep with someone, right? Like you don't have to make room for your first date's flaws. You don't even know what they are yet. You know what I mean? I hope that the difference is clear there. And it's really okay if you're not ready to make room for someone's flaws, to compromise and all those things. I wasn't ready for a long time. So generally, I just invite you to reframe being ready to date. You don't need to be ready for a relationship to be ready to date. And just because you go on a few dates this month doesn't mean you will be automatically committed. As I said, you won't trip and fall into a relationship. You have control here. You can take it at a pace you feel comfortable with, which is easier to do when you prioritize your comfort when interacting with new people. Being ready to date means putting yourself in situations where you're talking to a new person and then you decide if you want to talk to them again. Let me say that again. You get to decide if you want to hang out with them again. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do in a dating scenario. Just to recap, if you want to know if you're ready to date, go on a date. See how you feel. If it throws you into a spiral of self-doubt and all those negative things, you're probably not ready to keep dating, and that's okay. If you only feel it, mildly uncomfortable, but you still feel like it was worthwhile, then great, green light, you're good to go. How you get that date will probably through dating apps, and we will talk about that in a bit. So first, I want to cover some mindset tips for getting back into the dating scene. And if you're watching on YouTube, Coconut has entered the chat. Okay. When I asked you about the challenges of dating, something that came up was navigating fear and worry around dating. And I got messages saying things like, I'm scared my date will expect immediate exclusive commitment after one date, or I worry I'm not enough and that people will judge because I'm not experienced with dating. And I fear people telling me that they want something serious and then changing their mind. These are all valid fears. Dating makes you feel so vulnerable and emotionally naked. If you have these fears, let's address them. One, just because someone expects something of you, like being exclusive after a first date, that doesn't mean you have to go along with that. You get to take the pace you feel comfortable with, and hopefully you find someone who naturally aligns with that. Two, if you fear someone judging you for a lack of experience or something else you're insecure about, I want you to realize that this is a projection in the making. Like, you may be judging yourself for these things, but that doesn't mean your date will. A lot of people do not care about lack of relationship experience. The smart ones will get that not everyone prioritizes relationships in our teen years or 20s or even our early 30s, and that's okay. And three, you can't control other people. People will change their minds, ghost you, or lie, and we really just can't control that. We can only learn to recognize these things and move on with grace. Hey there, just popping in to share something super exciting, and that is that Balesa and I are teaming up and giving away free spicy toys to every single one of you. Yes, you heard that right. You may have seen some of these toys on your feed, like the Rose, which is a compact toy with 10 suction modes that also is rechargeable, splash proof, and silent. It went viral for a reason, okay? And if you haven't heard of Balesa, this is a by women for everyone company that's completely flipping the script on sexual wellness. Their mission is empowering you to embrace, explore, and celebrate your pleasure, and that's something I can fully get behind. For me, when it comes to choosing new toys to try, it can be overwhelming because there are so many options. So if you need some recs, I've got you. I highly recommend their Air Vibe, which is a small dual stimulation toy that comes in a discreet charging case. And you can also check out their new Whisper collection, which includes the best vibrators with zero sound. Yeah, so those are my go-tos if you're not sure where to start. And of course, I had to hook all of you up. So my friends at Balesa and I are sending out a free Rose section toy with every single order. You heard that right. Retails for $99, but you get it free. Iconic. All you gotta do is click the link in the episode description or head to bbvibes.com/datingintentionally. That's bbvibes.com/datingintentionally. When it comes to dating, I don't want you to be the cool girl. And this applies to the men listening too. You know the type, the person who shrugs everything off, who's so chill, so easygoing, so unbothered, they never actually say what they want. But not this summer. In dating, we're being honest, direct, and a little bit uncool. But when we're sleeping, well, okay, I actually do want you to be the cool girl, the cool guy, or the coolest person in the entire bed, really. And that's where Boll and Branch comes in because the wrong sheets trap heat, but Boll and Branch bedding will keep you cool all night. Their sheets are 100% organic cotton woven specifically for airflow, not just softness. So the cooling is not some synthetic cooling technology or chemical treatment that washes out. It's how the cotton is woven. And 94% of Boll and Branch customers say their sheets get softer with every single wash, and I agree. I can't get enough of Boll and Branch. And look, I take hosting very seriously. I'm having a bunch of guests this summer. I've already had a bunch of guests this year. And I've been using Boll and Branch's signature hand-stitched cloud comforter set on my guest bed. Every single person who stayed with me has said how comfy our bed setup is for them. And for me, this is the ultimate hosting compliment. And it's all thanks to Boll and Branch. I have this comforter set in the sky color and it makes the room look even more cozy and inviting. Plus, yes, it is super easy to wash. Sleep cooler this summer with Boll and Branch. Get 15% off your first order plus free shipping at bollandbranch.com/dating with code dating. That's Boll and Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/dating, code dating to unlock 15% off. bollandbranch.com/dating, code dating, exclusions apply. Another part of addressing these fears is reframing the point of going on dates when you're just getting back into it. The point of going on those first few dates, if you're starting over in the dating pool, is literally just to go on dates. It's to build the muscle. It's just to prove to yourself that you can go on a date and come out of it okay. Go have boring, awkward dates that don't go anywhere. I know, it sounds like a waste of time, but hear me out. It will show you that dating is doable. It will show you that you don't have to impress anyone out here. It'll show you that there are people out here to date, like you have options, and it'll give you confidence that you can date. And that's why, look, building that confidence is key. That's part of why it feels so overwhelming. I would love for you to accept that when you start out, it's going to be clunky, it's going to feel weird, and you probably won't click with anyone right away, and that's okay. I think this is a necessary stage to get through. Think about what you do for work. Think about your first day on the job, your first week. Was it really fun? Did you feel confident right away? Probably not. You have to take a few weeks to learn the systems and figure out how things work with your team. Honestly, I think it's the same for dating, and I don't know why we expect to just be good at it on the first try. Even if you're coming back to dating, right? It's different now. You have different experience now. It's okay to have some first dates that don't go anywhere, because if you find that you have a lot of anxiety about dating, like you have first date jitters like really badly to the point where it takes you out of your day, or you're just so anxious about the future, maybe just the repetition of dating should be your goal, not getting into a relationship. And one last thing I want you to accept is that failure is the default of dating. okay? That means most people you meet and most dates you go on won't turn into anything. Once you accept this, you'll feel a lot less pressure for things to work out. I know you might be like, well, Talia, what's the point? The point is to learn about yourself and to practice dating to build confidence. Every date that doesn't work out is just more information, it's more experience, and it's another chance to learn about yourself and how dating works. That's a huge win in my eyes. Just to recap these mindset tips, I would love for you to remind yourself over and over that a first date is not that deep. Everyone shows up slightly nervous, and the point of a first date is to see if there's a good vibe between you and the other person. That's it. Okay, let's come back to what I said earlier about making these dates happen. So if you are seriously brand new and you haven't even gone on a date in forever, let's talk about getting that first date. You might be asking yourself, how do I even meet people? You have a few options: dating apps and meeting online, singles events, setups and matchmaking, or just trying to meet someone organically in your day-to-day life. So let's break it down. Dating apps are the easiest. Why? Because you can set up dates from your couch in your sweatpants. If you want dating app tips, I highly recommend checking out my episode with dating app expert Jenny Deal. And I also recommend following Erica Etten, and that's at a little nudge. That's her handle on Instagram. She has incredible advice for dating apps, and I even have an interview coming out with her soon. I also want to make sure that you know, listener, that you can use dating apps at any age. Yes, even in your 60s and up. My dad is 64 and on the dating apps. So just keep it in mind. You can meet people online in other ways too. It doesn't have to be the apps. You can meet people on Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, even really any site or app where you're interacting with other users. It's just a matter of sliding into their DMs. And I personally haven't ever arranged a date this way, but I know it's a thing. Just letting you know it's an option. Like you can meet someone online, but not on a traditional dating app. Then we have singles events. These are your speed dating events, singles mixers, and stuff like that. I think it's worth trying solo or with a friend, especially speed dating, because these events can help you build the muscle to meet and have conversations with new people. So go check out Eventbrite or meetup.com, or just Google single events in your area. And if you're feeling resistant or hesitant, I ask you, what is the worst thing that can happen? You go home without a match or a date. Your life isn't going to be different from before you went to the event. So you have nothing to lose by going to a singles event. It'll help give you some practice talking to new people, which will help build your confidence. Then there are setups and matchmaking. So matchmaking can come in a variety of venues. You can use a matchmaking app, or you can spend thousands of dollars on a matchmaker. Being in a matchmaker's database is an option too. It's usually free or low cost, but it just means that you're in their pool of potential matches. They're not actively trying to set you up as a client. So also, don't forget that you can ask your friends to set you up. That could take a while to pan out, but it's always an option. Finally, there's meeting someone organically. And this is the dream. This is the fantasy, right? You're in the grocery store and you and a very attractive person happen to reach for the same avocado. You touch hands, you feel immediate attraction, and the rest is history. And while that may have happened to someone you know, that is pure luck. I think it's important to be open to luck, but it's not a great strategy for returning to the dating pool if it's important in your life right now. You can sometimes meet someone doing hobbies you enjoy, taking classes, going to events, going to like a new yoga studio or a climbing gym, or going out to concerts and shows. You can meet people at all these places, but it's hard to meet someone in the wild who's single, available in your age range, and all of that in real life. So that's why I like the apps, okay? Yes, they're annoying. They feel like video games sometimes. There's lots of people on there who literally do not know how to carry a conversation. There's a lot of creeps on them, but there are also a lot of great people on them, and they really do work in terms of helping you get to the date. Hinge, Bumble, and Tinder are great apps to start with. Another aspect of getting back into the dating pool and helping you feel more confident is going to be your appearance. In general, I think we focus way too much on looks in the dating process. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like looks don't matter. And when you know you look good, you will feel more confident. So if you're just starting to date again, I encourage you to do whatever it is you need to do to feel more confident, whether that's getting a haircut, buying a new top or new shoes to wear on dates, maybe trying some new makeup or getting a facial, a manicure, whatever it is, go do it. Investing in your appearance a little more when you're starting to date is normal, and it will help you feel more confident. Confidence looks sexy on everyone, so just keep that in mind. When I was dating, I had a few go-to first date outfits that I loved. I bought all new makeup when I started because I buy makeup like once every 4 years. And I leaned hard into bouldering, which is a great social activity, but it kept me feeling strong and in shape and confident in my body. I'm not saying you need to lose weight or get in shape. I'm just sharing examples of what made me feel confident. So it could be anything, just really small little tweak in your appearance that will help you just feel like more happy to be in your skin when you show up on dates because that will come through and that's very attractive. I also want to touch on two other practices that can help you build confidence as you re-enter the dating pool. The first one is reading books about dating. You don't have to stay lost in the dark and feeling overwhelmed here, okay? There are so many resources out there, and here are three of my favorite books to get started. The first one is How to Not Die Alone by Logan Ury. This is the first dating book I read when I was ready to start taking dating more seriously, and I loved it. I wish I read it sooner in my journey. It really does break down everything from mindset to meeting people to those navigating those first few dates, okay? Great book, highly recommend. Another one is called Offline Dating by Camille Virginia. This is a fantastic book for making connections in person. And both these books, Offline Dating and How to Not Die Alone, offer specific tips on navigating texting, setting up dates, communicating intentions, and all that stuff. And the last one is one I have not read, but I've read his other books, and it's called Wired for Dating by Stan Tatkin. So again, I haven't read this. I read Wired for Love, but Wired for Dating will help you understand attachment theory and attachment styles and how they show up in early dating, which is so helpful because most attachment books are relevant to established relationships. So get some books. Again, you can start with one of those, or you can go research the other dating books that might align with your values, whatever it is. But just know that you don't have to leave yourself feeling so confused. Educate yourself. There's so many resources out there, and you're already doing that by listening to this podcast. So good for you. And while you're at it, while you're out buying some dating books, go get yourself a dating journal. This can be any journal, but it's for writing down your thoughts and feelings that come up during this dating process. And this is going to help you feel more grounded and confident in your journey as well. As you dip your toes into dating, being mindful through journaling will help you make sense of your feelings. It'll help you feel less messy in your brain. Having this outlet will help you feel more grounded. Reflect on your fears, hesitations, what memories or triggers that are coming up for you, questions you have, your reactions to things. Journaling might not change anything, but it's better than keeping it all inside. It's easier to sort yourself out once you've gotten your thoughts on paper. So maybe you're into journaling, maybe you're not, but please don't skip this one. And that is setting your intentions. Okay. Here's the thing. Let's just say, if listener, that you intend or you want to get married. Okay. That's kind of what your dream is or your goal is, that you want to get married. But if it's not your dream, let's just say long-term partnership. To get married, you need to be in a relationship with someone who's compatible with you. For that to happen, you need to know a compatible person when you meet them. And for that to happen, you need experience in dating. So we're reverse engineering this. But for that to happen, you need to go on dates. So even though your intention might be to get married someday or find that long-term companion, maybe that's too much pressure for you right now. Maybe that hanging over your head is not helping. A better immediate intention would just be to figure out dating so it's not so scary and overwhelming. It's going to be really hard to find a great compatible partner in the process if dating terrifies you. If you're coming out of a dating dry spell or out of a long relationship, whatever your situation is, set an intention around setting up and going on at least one date in the next couple weeks. Keep it simple and see how it feels. You got this. You've probably heard me talk about dating outside my type, and I have to come clean. While I definitely did this in my dating journey, I tend to be very stuck in my old ways when it comes to other things like my eyewear. I will hang on to the same sunglasses and glasses for years and years. I never lose them, and it takes a lot for me to branch out. But that all changed once I discovered Zenni and their incredible customizable eyewear. Here's the deal. Zenni is an online eyewear shop with stylish prescription glasses, sunglasses, and customizable lens options, all starting at under $30. You go to zenni.com, pick a frame, enter your prescription if you have one, customize everything, and they ship it right to your door without going to any stores, no pressure. They also have over 150,000 five-star reviews. And if you never bought glasses online before, they do have a virtual try-on so you can see exactly how a frame looks on your face before you order. It's awesome. I went in and I built a completely custom pair just for myself. And I went for rose gold mirror lenses, and they're so fun. I'm obsessed. I get so many compliments on them. And the part that got me is really the quality for the price. I just couldn't believe it. Finding that perfect pair of sunglasses was so easy with Zenni. That scratched up pair has done its job. Upgrade today with Zenni. Go to zenni.com/podcast and use code podcast15 for 15% off your first order plus free shipping on all US orders over $65. The styles sell out, so don't sit on it. That's zenni.com/podcast, promo code podcast15. One of my favorite ways to spend time with my husband is on the couch watching movies, TV, and cuddling with our dog Coconut. And lately, I've been wanting to upgrade some of our living room pieces, especially our couch. Couch shopping is no joke, but I know Wayfair has my back. When my husband and I first moved in together, we didn't have a ton of furniture between the two of us, and we've loved making our home feel cozy with pieces from Wayfair. Like we've added some lighting and rugs and other pieces that make our home look way more put together. Everything I have from Wayfair has felt like a true upgrade, but what I love about them most is that you can actually trust what you're buying. You can look out for the Wayfair verified badge, which means it's been through a real 10-point quality inspection for materials, functionality, even how long it takes to assemble. So there's no gambling on whether or not something's going to hold up in real life or if it's going to last. Wayfair has over 20 million verified 5-star reviews with real customer photos, so I can see exactly how something looks in my actual home before it shows up. That makes choosing so much easier. Join Wayfair Rewards today and get 5% back on every purchase and start saving on your next home upgrade. Head to wayfair.com to shop all things home. That's WAYFAR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
All right, I have a new dating dilemma to share with you for this episode. This is a recent one that was submitted just this month. And if you want to submit your dating dilemma for me to read on the podcast, there is a link in the show notes. Okay. Hey, Talia, I am a 35-year-old woman who ended a 1.5-year relationship a month and a half ago. I'm ready to date again, but not ready for a relationship yet. Thanks to your episode on that distinction. There is a lovely 40-year-old guy in my friend group who I met when I was in my last relationship. Now that I'm single, I realize I have a crush on him. We've been naturally spending time together at parties and events and getting to know each other. The vibe has gotten flirty in both directions. We're both going to a camping festival in a few weeks, and my issue is that I'm looking for someone who wants to have kids, and there are many things I need to vet for on relationship compatibility with him, and that would be unnatural topics for friend conversation. It feels almost clinical, but I want to find out some of those core compatibility questions before things potentially get spicy, especially when we're camping. Because he's part of my friend group, I don't want to just hook up with him if that's all it could be. If we're compatible with what we're looking for, then I would be willing to explore it. A close friend told me I'm overthinking this way too much and I should just see where it goes organically. He asked me to hang out one-on-one this Saturday night. How should I approach him? Should I just lay out the tensions I'm feeling in navigating this and lay my cards out on the table, or should I let it develop organically? Let us know in the comments what you think. Thank you for submitting this. I totally get the issue here, and I'm just curious to know if you listening, if you caught anything in this question, share in the comments about what stood out to you. So let's break this down. You are 6 weeks out of an 18-month-long relationship. You have a crush on a guy in your friend group, and the attraction seems mutual. The biggest thing that stood out to me is that you're starting off this submission by saying you are not ready for a relationship, but then you go on to worry about vetting this guy for one. So that's something to pay attention to. If your desire right now in this moment is to date and not get into a relationship, the actions you would take to align with that desire have nothing to do with vetting this guy for a relationship or pursuing a romantic relationship with him. So it's kind of a moot situation unless you really do feel ready for a relationship. To answer your question, I think you should let it develop organically or just stay friends for now while you focus on yourself and enjoy the occasional flirtation. That's my advice at this point. Laying out all your concerns before you even know what he wants, what he's ready for, if the feelings are mutual, is truly putting the cart before the horse here. I also want to call out something I notice with my clients and my amazing listeners. And that is, I find when, especially the women that I talk to, they meet a guy they like, they act like there's never going to be another man that they will ever like again. And that leads them to two things. One is projecting a shit ton into the future, like, will this relationship work? Do I want this person to be the father of my children? Before you even know if you like them like that, or if they like you, or even if they want a relationship. And two, they start making concessions and shifting their priorities just to wedge a potential relationship into their life. I don't want that to be you. That is the kind of scarcity mindset that makes us feel like the stakes are already really high, and that puts us in situations that aren't ideal. Like, you know this guy through your friend group, and maybe he's great, but how well do you really know him? And I think it's fair to say that you don't know how he operates in a romantic relationship yet. So my advice of letting it play out organically is aligning with your intention of not wanting to entertain a new relationship 6 weeks after your last one. It also aligns with not skipping steps or rushing the connection. So what does that look like? Yes, go hang out one-on-one, feel out this dating situation and go from there. Stay grounded in the present and continue to get to know him as if you're still seeing if he's a good match for you instead of deciding that he is one and worrying if you're compatible. So what are your thoughts? Share in the comments, and I really hope that you enjoyed this episode. I want to thank you so much for listening. Thank you for trusting me. Don't forget, you're doing great. And if you know someone who is navigating dating and could use a confidence boost or fresh perspective, share this episode. And if this podcast has helped you, a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify goes a long way. Once again, I'm Talia. This is Dating Intentionally, and I'll see you next time.